there folks, Aldershot here, and today we're going to do an impression on Westerado Double Barreled, developed by Ostrich Banditos, and on sale on Steam at the regular price around $15 USD. Now Westerado is kind of an interesting game, I must say. It reminds me of Red Dead Redemption quite a bit, except obviously more indie, obviously more pixely, right? But it does it in its own style. What it reminds me of Red Dead Redemption is the open sandbox action gameplay that the game has to offer. But as mentioned before, Westerado definitely does it in its own fashion. But anyways, we'll jump into the game so we can explore what it's about. Now at the end of the video, we'll talk a little bit more about the game's options, as well as any extra features that it might have to offer. But for the time being, we'll jump into this save data that we got started. There is co-op locally, no online that I know of. But we're going to just check out the single player. We'll talk a little bit more about the local co-op at the end of the video when we explore some of the extra features. Anyways, here we are. We are currently in our uncle's home. Alright, we just kind of woke up. This is where we usually start our game, either from loading a game or after you die or something like that, right? And this is our kind old uncle right here. Hey buddy, how's it going? Hey nephew, I hope you can catch the murderer soon. Can I help you with can I help you in any way? Well anyways, we don't need to ask him for any help because I already kind of know how to play the game. He basically serves as a tutorial, but I'll catch you up on what's been going on. So, when you first start the game, you kind of enter into a sequence where you find your ranch burned down and your brother shot, right, by some masked bandit. And the whole point of this game is to find out who the hell burned down your ranch and shot your brother, right? That's not cool. So we're on the quest to figure out who the hell did that. It could be anybody. It could be any of these NPCs that's around me right now. So in order to get clues to find out who the hell shot your brother, you kind of go around this open world, right? This is a fairly large world, I must say. I've only really explored the eastern side of it. I'm currently working on exploring more of the western side of it. But as you explore more of the game, you'll run into quests, right? And all the quests are logged in right here, as you can see. And doing these quests will usually offer some sort of reward, whether it be money, a gun or something like that, or maybe a hat. But hopefully it will give you a clue to who shot your brother. And those clues are documented right here. I'll give you an example. So far we found that our masked bandit who burned down our damn ranch and shot a brother, he wears a colored shirt that accentuates his fatness. So we know he wears a colored shirt. We don't know what color, but it is a colored shirt and that he is fat. So there you go. He's also definitely got a medium tall hat on with an edged brim. And he's also wearing white slacks. So that's all the clues that we got so far. And like I said, it could be anybody here. It could be this guy. It could be this guy, although he's not wearing a colored shirt, right? So in order to figure out who it is definitively, because you don't want to shoot anyone innocent, or maybe you do. Maybe you do. We'll talk more about that. You're going to want to find more clues so you can figure out who it is that did it, right? Now the interesting thing about this game is the game does actually support a fair amount of replayability, as the masked bandit that, you know, shot up your family and burned down your ranch, he actually changes with every playthrough. So each time you play the game, the quests will give different clues, obviously, because it'll have to clue you in on a different person who shot your brother and all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting. It definitely adds a little bit of replay to the game. I don't really know how long the game is exactly. I've been playing for about 3 hours so far, and I don't even feel like I'm close to finishing the game. So there's a fair amount of content. There's a fair amount of different things to do as well. I played poker earlier. I got a clue out of that. But anyways, let's keep exploring so we can see if we can find more clues. We'll explore this area here. Now you do kind of want to talk to all of the NPCs around too, because any number of these guys can give you either a clue or a mission to get a clue or an item or something like that. But let's actually talk to this lady here and see what she's saying. Hey there, Sugar. You look kind of lost. Sure. What are you looking for? Well, we're looking for someone evil. When you're looking for someone, maybe the sheriff can help you. So she's giving us kind of a clue to who to talk to. We already kind of talked to the sheriff, but let's see what else she says. Let's see what happens if we say no. You do look troubled. Many things on your mind, Sugar? I know life can be pretty hard most of the time out here in the West, but don't give up. You can always relax at the saloon when you need to. Right. Now here's the thing, right? Like I said, any NPCs around can potentially be the killer of your brother, right? So you can actually accuse anybody, even this lady here. We'll try that. You are a killer. What? How dare you accuse me of such evil acts? Whatever your problem is, it has nothing to do with me. Now you do got to be careful about who you accuse, because I've accused a gentleman earlier, and he drew his gun and tried to shoot me, right? So that wasn't very pleasant. And that brings me to my next point. Now the conversation isn't just, you know, choose option A or option B. I can actually draw my gun, right? And that will have an effect on the conversation as well. See what he's saying after I drew the gun on this guy here. Huh, you're a brave one, I'll give you that, son. Okay, okay, you're not to be messed with. Fine, fine. I get it. You almost look like one of those aggressive folks wearing that bandana and all. So put that away, because I don't really want to shoot him, right? But anyways, let's see what town has to say, because I do want to show you guys around town a little bit. Some pretty interesting things happening here. So this is the bank, right? We go around killing dudes and we collect the money out of them. Now if you die, you lose half your money. So if you're not going to be spending your cash, it's generally a good idea to, say, deposit a bit of money. So that way you lose as little as possible. We'll deposit just 100 for the time being. There you go. We can always withdraw from any bank whenever we like. Now, I mentioned that you can draw your gun during any conversation. And conversation is a big deal in this game, right? It's all about how you interact with the other people around you. We can actually rob the bank as well. We'll try that. We'll draw our gun. See what he says. Sir, I'm sure there's no need for violence. Now we can cock the gun, but you know what? We're going to holster it. Please leave the bank, or we'll call the sheriff. Okay. Well, we don't really want to play the bandit in this current playthrough, so we're not going to do that. But the game does offer you the opportunity to play the bandit. I can shoot all these people if I want, but I'm not going to do that. I can accuse all these people of being murderers if I want. I can rob the bank if I want, but I choose not to, right? And that will decide on what kind of missions you'll get and the kind of clues that you'll get and all that kind of fancy stuff. So the game is pretty open, I must say. There is a lot of different ways to play it. But anyways, let's keep exploring the world. Looks like we have to go further west to find an area that we haven't been to yet. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Not to mention the game is gorgeous, right? Pixel art. This is definitely some fine pixel art, I gotta say. It looks really good. It really does, I have to say. The music's absolutely fantastic as well. So as far as aesthetics is concerned, I don't really have much of a complaint. But I do want to get into this gated area. And what we'll have to do is shoot it. We'll shoot it. There we go, just like that. Now open up the lock. Now I should kind of talk about the combat a little bit. See how there's some snakes and wolves here. We can probably showcase some of the combat here. Now it's not just simple as point and shoot. You have to reload your gun one bullet at a time because it is a spinning revolver, right? You also have to press a button to prep up your gun, to draw it. You also have to cock your gun as the second phase of prepping it. Then you can finally shoot the gun, right? So there's a few phases in order to actually shoot your gun. It takes a little bit of planning during combat in order to score yourself a hit. So that's kind of interesting. Now you can only shoot left and right though. And you can shoot all the animals if you want to as well. That really goes to show how open the world actually is in Westardo, which is definitely something I really like. But you can only shoot left and right. There's no up and down. Just to keep you in the loop, let you know about the combat. But I certainly don't mind it. It's a little bit simple, but I like the idea of actually having to reload each bullet individually and having to prep the gun up by drawing and cocking it before shooting. It really does remind me of spaghetti westerns, you know? 10 spaces back and whoever can draw the gun and cock it and get it all prepped up and shoot it wins and all that kind of stuff, right? So I definitely like that. But anyways, looks like there is an exclamation mark above us, so we'll check that out. That's probably a quest of some sort. Rancher Bob's, alright. So I think this is one of the quests I have to do for the bank, so let's check that out. But yeah, back to the aesthetics. It's a really good looking game. Look at it. I mean, it is pixel art, but it's really good pixel art. It's very, it's full of character, you know? It's full of little details. And is even more admirable because it is a Western game, or not Western game, because it is an indie game. You can only do so much detail in a pixelated style, and they definitely maximized the amount of details they can show off in a pixelated style, and I definitely like that for sure. My only real critique as far as the graphics is concerned is, we'll go back into the wanted poster here, is that because we have to actually identify the killer through very specific identifiers, whether him being fat or skinny, wearing a hat or a specific kind of hat, and what color his clothing is and all that stuff. The minimalistic details that pixel art has to offer might make it a little bit difficult to identify the killer, because of the low details that pixel art tends to offer. But I haven't actually ran into that problem quite yet, but that's probably because I haven't ran into the phase of actually accusing the killer yet, so there is that. So I just released all the buffaloes. He might not like that. I'm doing it for a quest for a bunch of Native Americans, I guess, but he seems to be trying to kill us. So unfortunately, I think I might have to shoot this gentleman here. Boom. Sorry, but it just had to offer. It just had to It just had to happen. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyways, it looks like we scared off the lady. Hopefully we didn't actually kill our quest giver, because there was an exclamation mark here. Let's see if that changed. No, it's still there, but he might actually be one of the end of the quest, one of the NPCs I had to talk to. I'm not quite sure if you can actually kill important NPCs that have to do with any given quest, but from my experience, you can kill everybody. In fact, in the beginning area where we met our uncle, you can kill him as well. I've killed him, right? But he turns into a ghost, so nothing really happens. But still kind of interesting. But anyways, we're under attack by a bunch of bandits. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the combat. Oops. When you do get hit, you lose a hat, right? As long as you're wearing hats, you'll be okay. I don't understand why, but that's the way the game works, okay? I'm not going to question it. Anyways, it looks like we need to reload. Double barrel, hey? Well, let's see. We got a shotgun, I think. Yes, we do. Oh, it looks like we got him. But we'll showcase the shotgun anyways on this wolf, just to show you some of the extra other weapons that's available in this game. We also have a rifle. You can call it a sniper rifle, but it's definitely a bolt action. Shoot. Just like that, right? Pretty fancy stuff, I gotta say. But I gotta say, guys, I'm really enjoying Westardo. I don't really have too much criticisms for the game, to be completely honest, from what I've played. It's definitely full of content. There's a lot of different things to do. I've had it, like I said, I've had a game of poker where I won a clue, essentially. Oh, let's see what Beefhead Bull is saying. Oh, he's definitely part of the quest, actually. You looking for trouble? Yeah, I am. No, I'm not. I need you guys to leave the tracks. There we go. Now, why would we do that? The train tunnels are cool, so we can warm it up as much as we want. Do me a favor. That ain't gonna happen. We like it here, and the banker pays us a pretty penny to sit right. What's that? You're right. Bright Billy. You didn't hear anything from me. I'll pay you more. Well, when was the last time he paid you? Let's see what happens if I say that. What's that, Jolly Jack? It's been how long? Alrighty then, just hand over $300 and we'll get out of tunnels. I don't have $300. Change my mind. Well, you get us the cash, we'll spend it on long bug juice, and we'll drink it somewhere other than the train tunnel. So it looks like we got to gather another $50. which I can get from the bank actually. So good, we can finish this quest pretty easily. But we're just exploring. But as I was saying, guys, pretty good game, I have to say, from what I've played. I played about 3 to 4 hours of it so far. I've yet to finish it. I'm still looking for clues, still finishing missions, so I can identify the killer of my brother and the burner of my ranch, right? I really like the graphics. I really like the audio. The music's absolutely fantastic. It really is. I kind of like the combat too, as simple as it is, but you know, I like the idea of having to prep up my gun before I shoot it. It definitely helps immerse the player into the Western atmosphere a little bit better, I think. And it's a lot of fun, I gotta say. I like the whole idea of finding my brother through getting clues and identifying them myself. I like the idea of being able to shoot anybody I want. I like the idea of just the whole open worldness of the game. You can do any mission, go to any place in any order that you choose. Like I said, it's kind of a sandbox action game, right? And there's a fair amount of different variety of things to do. Like I said, I had a game of poker. There's probably more of other things that I haven't explored yet. And I just died due to a scorpion. Oh my. But yeah, I like a lot of things about this game is what I'm trying to say. It's a lot of fun. I must say, I'm really enjoying Westardo. The only real critique, like I said, I had with the game is because identifying your killer is so important, and because it's done in such low resolution pixel art, some people might potentially have some issues identifying their killers because of this reason, and that can be potentially kind of an issue, being that is really the whole point of the game, right? But other than that, I don't really have much complaints. I've been enjoying the game for what I've played so far. I love the style, I love the atmosphere, I love the music, I love the visuals, I like the idea of the gameplay mechanics, and all the NPCs are pretty well written, I have to say. I've definitely had a couple of lulls reading some of the dialogues from talking to the townsfolks, you know. So yeah, there we go, Westardo. Pretty good, guys, I have to say. I definitely recommend it if you are interested in this game. I really do. It's like I said before, it's kind of like a pixelated indie version of Red Dead Redemption, but done in its own little style, right? But anyways, folks, that's pretty much all I have to say about Westardo. Pretty good game. Definitely recommend it. If you're interested, I definitely recommend the purchase. I really do. But anyways, we'll get out of this. We'll go to the main menu. That way we can talk about the extra features, which is co-op, local co-op, right? We'll quickly jump into that. We'll press left. Let's see. We'll use the keyboard as the second player. And continue. Just to quickly showcase what this has to offer. So you can actually go on your little adventure. I am playing with myself right now. I'm just using the D-pad and the keyboard at the same time. And you can both go on your little adventure and hunt for clues and do your missions together, which is pretty rad. I wonder if I can shoot my partner. I never... Oh, looks like I can shoot my partner, so friendly fire is definitely on. Be careful of that. I haven't played much of co-op, so I can't really say too much about it. But it's nice that's there, for sure. Cancel. Now, as far as the options, not too much in the way of graphical options, unfortunately, but it is a pixelated game, so generally speaking, these kind of games don't have a whole lot of graphical options, so it's a pretty standard issue, really. As far as audio and controls is concerned, audio, standard issue. Controls, you can customize your binding, which is nice to see, of course. And that's pretty much Westardo in a nutshell. Good game, guys. Definitely recommend it if you're interested in it. But anyways, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys watching, of course. And if you enjoyed this or found this informative in any way, show me some love, like, share, fave, and comment. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll bring you more videos like this. Thanks for watching, folks. Alder shout out.